Hey, collective. I'm back again with another video. I'm trying to find a good angle. I'm not trying to put nobody's address on here. But this is like a continuation, more of um, more history about my husband that I actually received from the divine. I'm gonna read it to you guys, okay? So I'm gonna have to end up flipping the camera because somebody's address is gonna end up popping up in this joint, or I just leave it like this. Okay, so all right, it says my husband was talking to his uncle, whom is his lover, discussing him giving my money to him a few times. I called him texting information back and forth. Excuse me, confirmation, which was a tow truck. All right. So this had something to do with a car. So they were talking about purchasing a car or a job. Okay. It had something to do with cars or some type of towing. Anyway, I called him texting information back and forth to my mother and his lover. They all was working on his mental state with a love spell, black magic, and putting it in his drinks like his beer. They always talking bad about me, telling him lies about me cheating on him, prostitution, I was doing drugs, and even went as far as my mother recorded me rolling up my weed. And yes, collective, I smoke weed, but I do it for meditation purposes, and it also helps me with my PSD. So, I mean PTSD. So chill, don't judge me. I'm very capable and still mentally stable and very spiritually balanced, all right? Because my ancestors, I'm being led to say this, they are originally pipe smokers and they did smoke weed and they did it through meditation and spiritual elevation. So do not judge me because it goes back. Now going back to what I was saying, they was putting it in his drinks and talking bad about me cheating and prostitution, and I was doing drugs and went as far as my mom recording me rolling up weed, which is not illegal, especially if you have PTSD. Dealing with a family like mine, but I use it for my meditation, just like I said, collective, just like my ancestors did, and I was pre-informed. It was just a reflection of their own behaviors. Like every projection, everything that I was being accused of, everything that was being thrown towards me, like I said, collective before, was just a self-projection, a mirroring effect of how they are. I never in my entire life stole from nobody. I never had sex with a minor. You know, I'm not into occult things. I don't use sex for initiation. I don't take drugs. I don't even drink. I stopped drinking years ago. I don't do drugs. And weed is not a drug. It's a medicinal plant. It burns. It you if you use it for the right purposes and you are responsible with it in the safety and privacy of your own home, it's not hurting anybody and it's benefiting you health wise, on top of you monitoring your ingestions of liquid and water. It's not a problem, but they like to dress things up and make it seem like it's something else that it's not. Like my family is like ridiculously retarded. Like, it's just stupid. Anyway, going back to the manipulation being performed, it was just a self-reflection. I tried to warn my kid's father, even in the very beginning, about not connecting with these people. But he chose to join the bunch, and now he will suffer in poverty just like them. He never helped me financially, and that's the truth. It was never an equal balance within our home. We were arguing and fussing a lot, and etc. Even physically harming each other to the point to where I blacked out. I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter, and he accused me of my daughter not being his child because my dad convinced him that Ava wasn't my child, his baby, due to the fact that I had committed adultery on my husband 8 months ago. No, not 8 months ago. It was like, what? I stopped in March. No, I stopped having the affair in February of 2007. And I had ended up getting pregnant with Ava around in April. Yep, around in April. And that was like a month after Sean had came back from just ghosting me. And he left me 4 months pregnant with my daughter. And Diel was like, I think he was 5. Yeah, he was 5 years old. And I was living with my parents, and my mom did not help me at all. She was not supportive. She pretty much told me like if I needed to get my head out the clouds, and I need to go look for me somewhere to live, and I need to find me a job and figure it out. She was very cold. Same as how my children's father is now. Again, it's the cycle is repeating itself of, just me recognizing when it's being performed and how it's affecting him emotionally. Like, Sean is under a love spell. It's like a come to me. And he is also under a black magic spell. This is through sex and through liquor ingestion. It also could be water intake. But nevertheless, it's still the same. And hold on 1 second. Hi. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi. Okay, I'm back, collective. Sorry. Now the next page is oh no. So let me finish. So the divine actually got me to pull back my energy and pull back from him, period, and just focus on my healing and use this moment of time of me receiving clarity ahead of time, because this would have been like hit me from a blind spot if I would have not been consistent or went about how my meditation state was at that time and just drop my ego and pride and go ahead and just do it. Because I have moments where I don't want to, but it's like that's the only way that I'm going to be able to receive the downloads. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. And so when I pulled away, that's when I had started receiving the downloads and the exposure of like what was going on in the past that actually had happened and was hidden and manipulated within the family due to money that they had stolen from me and that they are consistently trying till this day. It was due to the fact of them not wanting me to waken up to who I was truly meant to be, which is a high priestess. I am a truth speaker. I am also an inspirational person. I am a teacher. I uplift. I also give out herbal information. I am a practitioner. I can heal, and I heal myself all the time. I've been doing it all my life. And I do not take any credibility for any gifts that I have other than the divine giving them to me. I just use them accordingly to how they're supposed to be used. I do not mistreat people's energy nor my own. So I do that by practicing self-love. So every time I go through something that could be traumatic or something that is close to traumatic or just detrimental to the mental health of the mind, I always, go to the source to get the downloads of what herbs, what teas to drink, what things to stay away from that is attachments to different types of energies, because you also have to recognize when you are buying your food from the grocery store, you do not know these people's attitudes, how they are when they are handling your food. And believe it or not, just because you cannot see it, it does not mean that there is not a spiritual side to stay connected to actually be alert and aware of. Okay, so at just being alert at all your surroundings about you. And all right, now going back to, which is going back to the thank you, spirit, going back to the situation with him ingesting the black magic through liquor intake and sex, because again, I told the collective that he just recently had a threesome with his lover, which is his uncle Ern. And the person that he got attached to, she has an incubus succubus spirit. And by him being bisexual and keeping it a secret, and then he got her pregnant, and she this and that, I had to find out the way that I had to find out through the divine, because he just kept lying. So I used that time to be very mobile in my spirituality and accept the truth, accept it for what it is. It is what it is. I was always a mustache. That was also a part of the curse that I was attached to, collective. So it made it a lot easier for me to accept new beginnings and moving forward, not hanging on to an illusion because it was never genuine in the first place. Boom. So that actually helps. Now I'm going to tell you about his characteristics, because this is the truth. This is the person of who I was connected to. Okay. Now in doing so, I noticed my husband's behavior is very cold and distant and aloofness, and it involved but because I'm not emotionally, mentally, or spiritually attached anymore, there is no need to use the heart to make the final judgment. Excuse me. Straight logic with compassion, only because they're all going to receive karma. That's your that would be your justice, collective, which is also my justice. And they all are going to end up watching me move on without them having no any access to me, period. Going back to my kid's father, he is very nasty, lazy person. He keeps dookie in his underwear. He doesn't wash up every day or brush his teeth. We have been suffering with bug infestation for over 7 years. Bed bugs, roaches, mice, water damage in the home. The furniture we have is from out of someone's garage. Basically all the utensils, the things that we get is well, not the silverware and the plates and stuff. He goes to flea markets, anything to keep extra money going, to stretch so that he can have it to pay for his prostitutes and hotel meetups and all that other stuff. And that was never in good condition. The furniture that he got was never in good condition, collective. He never gets groceries. It's the right of way. He never gets groceries the right way. Okay, when he purchases groceries, the groceries that he gets, it reflects on just him, like him being the only tenant in the house or something. That's crazy. So when he buy food, as if he's the only person in the house. And if we do eat, the diet is very unhealthy. I like to let the kids be free and not bound to the TV. And he looks to the TV and the phones to avoid responsibility. He knows nothing about his children's health, education, and etc. I took care of a lot of things because he never wanted to be. He never wanted to, or he picked his job over his kids all the time. Like, he never really wanted us to help me babysit his own kids, or if I had to do anything important for myself, I pretty much was on my own. The only thing that was available to me was him just being available for a car. But 10 times out of 10, I was always catching SEPTA. And I stood out in the rain, sleet, and snow a lot. And I did not have support when I was in school, because when I went to school to be a CNA, I didn't have any food in the house, and me and the kids was like really struggling. And the people that I was in school with, the ones that I spoke to and confidence with that I felt overwhelmed at the time because I'm still trying to keep myself balanced and maintain and be a good mom and a good person and be loyal because I'm naturally a loyal individual. I mean, that's just me. You do me dirty, I don't fuck with you no more, but I mean, I'm not going to treat you like shit either. So that's just me. Anyway, he hates on our oldest son, never wants to be supportive, only if it benefits him. I asked him some months ago to get checked out on his health, and I would go with him, of course, and he lied, but that just gave me more confirmation that he was hiding that he was having sex. But by him being under black magic and love spells, he is so stupid. Like, he's being led straight into a pit of webs, and the divine had to step in just to block all of the nonsense that he had picked up, all the intoxicities that he had picked up that he was dropping off on me, and I was going through all of these spiritual baths and clearing my energy and constantly, not just my mom and them, but it makes it very difficult and challenging, collective, very challenging to deal with a divine karmic, okay, a divine that went karmic, because he's attached to karmic energy that you're fighting off, karmic energy that you were born into. See what I'm saying? It don't make it easy. But I mean, it was inevitable. Like, this was meant to happen, and I encourage everybody to be in the same mind frame. Think of it from a higher perspective. Everything that was going on in my life was a motherfucking lesson. Yes, it was hard, it was challenging, but the hard lessons is for the ones that can take the hits. Okay? Everybody is not meant to go through smooth sailing. How the fuck are you going to learn anything if everything is made easy for you? Feel me? You got to be real with yourself. And me going through this process of me accepting the fact of what's going on in my life, it's like, what the fuck? Why would I be worried and upset and full of anxiety and nightmares and losing sleep and hair falling out, skin breaking out, and all this other shit, being stressed out and might possibly snap on somebody for what? Everything was a motherfucking illusion. I'm getting a second chance at the age of 37. I can still twerk if I want to. If I want to. I can still have a baby if I want to. I could be a video vixen if I want to. I can write poetry. I can write a book. I can do whatever I want if I want to. I'm free. I claim it. And I'm not a materialistic person. I was actually taken advantage of. My whole entire family did this to me. So what do I need to hang on to it for when everybody was in an illusion and they were projecting it off on me because they didn't want... I'm the one person, and it takes a whole family and other people in different states and countries to try to stop one person. And that's not me, collective. That's the divine. That's me submitting myself for him to use me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. The story, yes. Me walking the walk. Collective, a lot of the stuff that I go through is very, very similar to God's walk of what happened to him when he was going through his crucifixion. Even down to the part of where Judas sat at the table at God's Last Supper. Do you hear me? My walk is not made to be like everybody else's walk. My walk is very straight and narrow, very gray. It is not made for me to have parties and go out and get parties and pick up other people's energies and de-purify what is rejected and purged out. My vessel is meant for me to keep purified at all, even through addictions. I must be consistent and persistent. I have rules and regulations that I must follow that I cannot apply to everybody else. And all things are lawful but not expedient, meaning I can speak a lot of truth for what goes on in my life, but I will not expose everything. Please know this, collective. I will set boundaries. I don't disrespect you, don't disrespect me. I give you love equally, give it back to me. You disrespect me, I channel you, I figure you out, I cut you off. Okay? But I don't move unless the divine tells me to. And if my ancestors is telling me that you up to something, please know this. You don't hear from me ever again. I release you in love and light. And good night. Okay? So, anyway, going back to his characteristics. And love self be the entities that was attached to him, I had to go through the whole process of me cleaning my space and my energy that he picked up so that it won't jump on me. But just looking at him in the 3D, like natural, like how I'm looking at you guys, he doesn't look like he's capable of being dark. But he is. Okay, and behind closed doors, he's not a protector. Like he's a coward, literally. He has gotten beat up in front of me twice. One was by a professional boxer that I had dated in the past, who also was a part of that was sent to me somehow. My mom and him was pulling in karmics for me to get attached to on purpose, and it was always with or my sister was doing it. My oldest sister, Crystal, they all was doing it. They wanted me to deal with the energy of dealing with people who were codependent, people who didn't want what do you call it? People who were codependent and people who didn't want relationships. Like they didn't want commitments. They wanted to party. They wanted to keep taking from me and like leave me out in the cold. Just never to have or find real love. Like that's some sad, sick shit. That's sad. But sucks to be them because I'm still gonna get it. Anyway, my cousin boyfriend who was on drugs, heavy to kill me. He had a gun. He whooped my kid's father's ass, and he just stood there like a bitch. He is my kid's father. Always made sure he had money. I always made sure he had money, but he always made sure he had money too to buy beers and pay for prostitutes and meeting up with Earn so they can have sex in hotels and shit. And going to strip clubs and getting head in cars and giving head in cars and just fucking with family members, fucking with cousins. He just trifling. And I was always wondering like why was my pH off? Like why, what is going on? As much as I keep up with myself, as much as I always practice keeping up with myself, you know what I'm saying? I always like to smell like flowers because that's my thing. I like to smell soft and smell like flowers, but it's like for some odd reason I was ending up going to the specialist trying to figure out what's wrong with me. They like, there's nothing wrong with you, but you might have BV, so take this. And I was literally catching BV almost like every other month, not knowing that it was because doodle was in my husband's dick. And he was putting it in my coochie the whole time. Just being trifling, disrespecting me, and actually putting my health on the line to where I could have caught an AIDS just like him. Like, that's crazy. And then you come home and you kissing on me and you telling me you gonna make shit right. You bringing me flowers. You coming up to the job bringing me flowers, and you fucking my friends. You fucking little girls. You fucking your uncle. Been fucking your uncle the whole entire time we've been married, y'all. We've been married since 2001. And I literally had to go through the process this morning of finishing up my purging and in releasing this because I had to come to glimpse like, why am I so emotionally hurt and struck over this relationship that was false from day one? It was never genuine. Nothing was authentic at all. It was all sent my way to keep me clouded. Collective, just so my parents will not be exposed of who they truly are. That's now just knowing how people, your family, just people in general will go to any extent, even to the point of trying to kill me for money, for greed, for clout. What's the other one? Ancestors. What's the other one? Tell me. To be optimist. Thank you. To be a what is it? Opportunist. Thank you. Sorry, some my they be around y'all, and when I'm saying that's right. But anyway, I'm not crazy. I talk to my ancestors. They talk to me. They are my spiritual team. They are immaculate. And I give gratitude to them every single chance I get. I get very emotional because it's authentic and genuine on how I am connected with the divine, my angels, the ascended masters, and ancestors. Like I said, y'all, my ancestors are not like everybody's ancestors. They rep all the way back from 1400, 14,000, excuse me, AC, DC, okay? I'm definitely from that tribe. And don't get it twisted. Don't ever disrespect your ancestors. They know shit. They hear shit. And if they feel as if that you ain't ready for it, they ain't gonna drop that gold nugget for you to know anything. So don't take credibility for anything. It is a triangle. It is all connected to source. I get all my downloads from the divine himself, not from an entity. Entities are implemented for learning and protection only, not to harm. Reject, reflect, and learn from it and let it go. That is not for me to harm anybody. I can, but I will not, because that is not for me to do. And that is a penalty. And why would I put my life on the line to hurt you when I can just heal from you and move on? It ain't that deep. I'm getting a whole new beginning, and I'm proud of it. And I'm going to keep standing on it. And I'm going to end this chapter closing out with my husband. Anything else that comes around, it's just going to come around. But I'm healed, collective. I love me. God loves me. My ancestors love me. I love you. And the love that I give to you, give it back to me, and we can be equal. See? I'm not a rapper, but I'm a snapper. Psych. But have a good day, collective, and I'll talk to you guys later.